Welcome to the jungle, fight fans. Get ready to dive into the world of the youngest UFC champions ever. We're talking about those absolute savages who climb to the top of the mountain before most people even figure out what they're doing with their lives. These are the guys who make you question everything you thought you knew about age, experience, and what it takes to be a world champion. These fighters have defied the odds and made history at a young age. Let's kick things off with John Bones Jones. This dude was an absolute freak of nature from the get-go. At 23 years old, he stepped into the Octagon against the legendary Mauricio Shogun Rua, a guy who was considered an absolute killer, a true veteran of the sport. Everyone thought Jones was biting off more than he could chew, but man, did he prove them wrong. Jones dismantled Shogun piece by piece. It was like watching a lion toying with its food. Head kicks, elbows, takedowns. Jones threw everything but the kitchen sink at Shogun, and by the third round it was clear. A new king had been crowned. John Jones became the youngest champion in UFC history that night, and let me tell you, the world of MMA would never be the same. Next up we've got Jose Aldo, the man who ruled the featherweight division with an iron fist. This dude was a straight-up predator in the cage. At 24 years old, he was already a seasoned veteran with a highlight reel full of knockouts. He was known for his brutal leg kicks. Those things could chop down a redwood. Aldo was facing tough competition at the time. Guys like Uriah Faber and Kenny Florian, absolute legends in their own right. But Aldo was on another level. He was too fast, too strong, too technical. He just picked his opponents apart piece by piece. When Aldo won that featherweight belt, it wasn't a surprise, man. It was inevitable. He was destined for greatness. Now let's talk about Max Blessed Holloway, another featherweight phenom who took the UFC by storm. This guy is a cardio machine with hands of stone. He just keeps coming forward, throwing punches in bunches, wearing his opponents down until they break. At 25 years old, Holloway stepped into the Octagon against the reigning featherweight king, Jose Aldo. The same Aldo we were just talking about, the guy who seemed unbeatable. But Holloway, he didn't care about Aldo's legacy. He went out there and put on a clinic. It was a firefight for the ages. Both guys were landing bombs, but Holloway just kept coming forward, throwing more punches, landing more shots. By the third round, Aldo was gassed and Holloway poured it on, finishing him with a TKO. Let's rewind the clock a bit and talk about one of the pioneers of the lighter weight classes. BJ the Prodigy Penn. This guy was a jiu-jitsu wizard who could submit you in a million different ways. He was also a black belt in judo, and a nightmare for anyone to take down. Penn burst onto the UFC scene like a meteor, submitting world-class fighters like they were nothing. At 25 years old, he was already a legend, but he wanted more. He wanted the welterweight title. He got his shot against Matt Hughes, a guy who was considered the most dominant welterweight of all time. It was a clash of styles, the wrestler versus the jiu-jitsu ace. But Penn, he shocked the world. He out-grappled Hughes, took his back and choked him out in the first round. Last but not least, we gotta talk about Vitor the Phenom Belfort. This dude was a physical specimen with explosive power and lightning-fast hands. He was knocking people out left and right, and he quickly became one of the most feared strikers in the UFC. At only 25 years old, Belfort was already a veteran of the sport. He had fought some of the best in the world, but he had his sights set on the light heavyweight title. He got his chance against Randy Couture, a wrestling legend and a true icon of the sport. Nobody gave Belfort a chance. Couture was too experienced, too tough. But Belfort, he didn't care about the odds. He came out like a man possessed, unleashing a flurry of punches that caught Couture off guard. Couture, a guy who had seen it all, was wobbled. Belfort smelled blood and kept the pressure on, finishing Couture with a TKO in the first round. These young champions have shown that age is just a number when it comes to achieving greatness in the UFC. It takes a rare breed of athlete to reach the pinnacle of this sport, and these guys, they all had that fire in their eyes, that hunger to be the best. They weren't afraid of anyone or anything. They stepped into the Octagon and poured their hearts out, proving that age is just a number when you have the talent, the dedication, and the will to win. Thanks for watching, and don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe for more exciting content. And next time you think you're too young or too inexperienced to achieve your dreams, remember these guys. Remember the legends who shocked the world and etched their names in the history books.